my take on the Tanis Leonhardi 800 meters run, time of 3 minutes and 27.2 seconds from 10 March 2007. I'm filming this over 17 years later on Saturday, 17 August 2024. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm going to talk through my Shorewood High School 800 meters run race at the 2007 Shorewood High School Blue and Green Track and Field Meet High School at Shoreline Stadium in Shoreline, Washington State, United States of America. Time of 3 minutes and 27.2 seconds in the women's event on Saturday, 10 March 2007. With my time, I achieved a personal best time. I provide my take / perspective on my performance and contextualize it in terms of it being the first track and field race I ever contested, as well as my first at the 800 meters distance race or en route. So yes, I was there. It was like an opening season, so blue and green is like the school colors are blue and green, so it's kind of like a big, here we are, you guys, start of the season, everybody's gonna run their event. We got to get that first time of the season in somewhere. And it was my first year of track and field, and first season, I guess, and then it was my first track and field race / event, I guess, I ever contested, as well as my first at the 800 meters distance. So if somebody were instead to run the 1500 meters instead of the 8, or we didn't have the 1500 meters, we had the 1600 meters in high school, which is over 9 meters shorter than a mile. And those kind of things do matter, at least in track and field. And so if somebody did the 1600 meters, then they technically, as their first event, then technically their first 800 meters run in competition as at that distance, not broken up, consecutive footsteps, so to speak, would then be an en route in their 1600 meters. I did not do that. I did the 800 meters. And so that's kind of cool. It was one of those ones where, you know, most people on the track and field team had running experience. They were cross-country in middle distance. They were mostly cross-country runners, or they started running years earlier and they ran track and field in middle school. So there were not a whole lot of us that joined in high school. And typically if people did other sports and chose running, the typical or common or standard would be they would do the sprint events. So 400 meters or shorter. And so I chose the non-typical crossover, and which the middle distance group was happy about. They were like, we have a swimmer, oh, and a soccer player, right? So it was like, I added it's like soccer, recreational, and then swim team. I had already done a season with the high school, and I did recreational as well, so they were kind of like, this is cool. Like, usually the people in those sports choose sprinting if they choose a running event, and I was up for middle distance, so they were excited about that, and it was kind of cool. I was like, I'm saying goodbye to swimming. And that kind of, yeah. So that part of it was cool. It was not in, I got they classified us into running groups, so it was partially my choice, but in the end, the coaches called to put me in the middle distance group. They could have put me in a different group, and they did not. So at the end of the day was coach's call that I was sent to middle distance running, which I appreciated because that's what I was doing on my own. So I was like, yes. And I was happy with my time. I was like, I started running in January 2006, and my first 1 mile run time was like 11 minutes and 45 seconds or something like that. And I was just happy. I was overweight and doing it to lose weight and stuff. And so, you know, like if you calculate this out, it's like, what, a little over 7 minute mile, like low 7. And I was going, that's over 4 minutes of time drop in like less than a year and a half. So I was like, I'm fast, but I'm not fast. It was like one of those really great, I was like, you know, one of the slowest people in this race. I think I was like 3rd slowest for our team or something for this particular race. But it was like, I'm fast and slow at the same time. So it was really cool. Like, I'm not going to win the race. I'm probably not going to win anything this season, but like, to come from where I had come from, like, was very profound. So it was a very exciting race for me. I was like, and to date, I have not raced this and gone slower than this time. So since it was my first time running this race, it was my personal best time in the race. But I haven't actually ever raced slower than this in this event. So there we go. That was my take on the Tanis Leonhardi 800 meters run, time of 3 minutes and 27.2 seconds from 10 March 2007.